Welcome to Characters Drive Stories, presented by the Blue Whiskey Independent Film Festival and sponsored by our friends at Noise Floor Sound Solutions. My name is Jonathan C. Leggett, and tonight we're celebrating a film that was presented at our inaugural festival in 2010. This is Characters Drive Stories with Drivers at Mutiny.
Interior, rest stop, men's room, Oklahoma, morning. Nick opens his eyes. Birds chirp in the background. The storm has apparently passed. He sees a dog lapping up water from one of the toilet stalls in front of him. The dog's owner, a toothless trucker, is pissing in a urinal next to the stall. The toothless trucker zips up and turns around. He notices Nick watching him and gives him a gummy smile. He looks at a soft wolf whistle. Nick is a little taken aback, but realizes the whistle was for the dog, who scampers out of the stall. The toothless trucker winks, and Nick then exits the restroom, his dog in tow. Nick scans the restroom. The perfect American family is nowhere to be seen. He looks down at his shoulder and notices Cole is sound asleep against him. He looks uncomfortable with having someone this close to him, but he softens as he watches her rest. She looks beautifully innocent in the morning light. He carefully removes a strand of hair from her face. He smiles. He hears a snort from his other side. We pan over to reveal Peter snoring against Nick's other shoulder. A small trickle of his drool dribbles onto Nick's jacket. Nick, disgusted, simply stands up, letting Peter and Cole clunk together, awakening them.
Time to leave.
Cole and Peter rub their heads and gather their things. Cole notices something sitting in the spot where the family was resting during the night. It's one of the little girl's animals, a small stuffed kitten. It sits perched upright, almost as if it were presented instead of forgotten. Exterior, rest stop, Oklahoma morning, post-rain. Nick, Cole, and Peter walk to the parked Volvo. Leaves and branches were strewn out amongst the large puddles of the water, but the weather is clear. Nick walks around the Volvo, inspecting it for damage. Everything looks intact. Cole holds the tiny stuffed kitten in the air.
I think she left it for me, really.
Why would she do that?
Not sure, but I better take care of him now.
Him?
Sure. I'm gonna call him Captain. Captain the Cat. He'll lead the way for us.
Peter takes a picture of Cole and the stuffed kitten. Nick lets out a snicker as he checks underneath the car, pulling a small branch out from one of the wheels.
Oh, well, he's leading us straight to hell if our luck doesn't change.
Maybe we just have an unlucky driver. Can I drive Sven now or what?
No, you're not driving Sven. You named the damn car, too.
Volvos are Swedish, right? So his name's Sven.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I like it.
Thank you, Peter.
Grow up. Naming anything is stupid, especially a stupid car. Hello? See? Just a stupid machine.
Did you always think that way?
Nick doesn't answer.
Didn't think so.
Cole gets in the passenger seat, shuts the door. Peter follows into the back. Nick pauses, then gets behind the wheel. He starts the engine, and Sven, the Volvo, heads back to the highway. Exterior, Volvo, Oklahoma Road, day. Sven driving through the American heartland. The car passes open Oklahoma fields and farmland. Interior car, Volvo, Oklahoma Road, day. The stuffed kitten sits perched on the dashboard compass in front of Cole, who's scribbling in her journal. Peter's snapping pictures like always. Nick sees something in the distance. He applies the brake pedal. Through the windshield, they pass by a parked cop car, waiting for speeders. Peter stops combing his hair.
Think he got us?
Nick points to the cars surrounding them on the highway.
No, we're fine. I'm covered.
What do you mean?
We're covered.
Cole chews on her pencil.
What if Mr. Jackson tipped off the cops?
He'd be pretty stupid to do that when we could screw over his entire life with the photos we have of him.
Cole pulls out her prescription bottle, holding it just out of sight.
Yeah, but what if he did? Then what?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm making it to L.A. no matter what.
What about your little police record? The booze you stole for your so-called friends?
I'm making it to L.A. no matter what.
You never had a chance to tell us why you need to get there in the first place.
Nick looks over at her, uncertain. She opens the bottle in front of him, for once taking an antidepressant pill out. in the open.
I told everyone my deal. It's only fair.
Nick reaches into the map pocket and pulls out the Crash Course cassette tape. He hands it to Peter, who looks at it and gives it to Cole.
Crash Course was my brother's favorite band. Mine too. We listened to them all the time, especially when we worked in the shop or whatever. Anyway, we swore that if the band ever got back together again, we'd go see them together. Problem was, he left to serve in the war about 2 years ago, and he never came back. My parents don't give a shit. They're too paranoid to lose another one of their sons or something. So what the hell else was I supposed to do? This was the only opportunity I had, so I took it.
Peter and Cole sit quietly. They sense there's more pain than he's dishing out.
Nick, I'm so sorry about your brother.
Me too.
What can you do, you know?
Nick looks antsy. Uncomfortable silence.
I lost my grandpa 3 years ago. He was a real swell guy. I still miss him, but it does get better. I have a photograph. I talk to sometimes. It helps me a lot.
Your grandpa, huh? That's too bad. How old is he when he died?
80.
Nick.
80. Right.
Nick cracks the window and fishes a pack of cigarettes from out of his jacket pocket. He puts one in his mouth, lights it with a classic Zippo.
You smoke?
Sure, sometimes. So is that the reason you need to get to L.A. so bad? Your grandpa died?
No, it's more just for me.
So what is it?
Well, I can't tell you guys.
What do you mean?
Sorry.
What do you mean you can't tell us? We spilled our shit, now what's yours?
Peter turns away. He picks up his camera and tries to shoot pictures out the window.
Could you slow down a bit?
What? Why?
Well, I can't get a good shot at this speed.
Nick, of course, tromps on the throttle, annoyed.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Peter turns around to take pictures out of the back window. Nick throws his cigarette grumpily out of his window, rolling it back up. Cole gives the Crash Course tape back to Nick. She glances at the near-empty gas gauge.
We'll have to make another stop soon.
Nick nods, his thoughts elsewhere, namely the cassette tape.
Hey, you okay?
Nick looks over at her. He's not used to someone caring about how he feels.
How about you?
I'm okay, I guess. It's just I never thought I'd ever have a chance to meet my birth mother, and...
Nick holds out his hand, interrupting her.
I don't want to hear it. That's your own private stuff, and I'm going to respect that. Okay?
Cole nods, but she looks a little dejected. Exterior, large gas station, Oklahoma, day. The Volvo pulls over to a gas booth. An RV is parked at one of the pumps. The three teens get out. Nick unscrews the car's gas cap. Cole heads inside while Peter badgers Nick with the camera in his face.
How about a picture of you gassing up Sven?
Sure, okay, but it will cost you about $20. Oh yeah, you ran out of money filling that stupid thing.
Nick points at Peter's camera. Peter shrugs it off.
No, just one. Come on, smile.
You want a picture of me? Okay.
Nick snatches the camera out of Peter's hands. He unzips his jeans and shoves the camera down his pants, flashing off a picture. He hands the camera back to Peter and goes back to the gas pump. Peter notices that the lens cap on the camera was still on. He takes it off, smiling. But his smile turns into a frown when he realizes what part of the lens cap might have touched. He dunks the cap in a windshield fluid bin and wipes it off with paper towels as he heads towards the station store. Interior, large gas station, restroom, Oklahoma, day. Peter opens the restroom door. The bathroom could certainly be cleaner. He grabs some paper towels to place on the urinal handle so he doesn't have to touch the bare metal. Interior, gas station, Oklahoma, day. Peter exits the restroom. He finds Cole trying on different pairs of cheap sunglasses in the back of the store. She smiles at him through a pair of hideous enough to make a Paris Hilton quake. He chuckles and goes to join her. Exterior, large gas station. Nick presses the button to ready the gas pump. He's accidentally turned it to credit instead of cash.
No, cash. I don't have a goddamn card.
Behind him, a police cruiser comes gliding in like a shark, parking nearby. Nick tenses up. A towering police officer gets out. His huge aviators scan the area. He doesn't look too far removed from the T-1000 in Terminator 2, and he's just as intimidating. The police officer passes by the Volvo and Nick on the way to the station store. Nick tries to look nonchalant, but the cop definitely notices him. As the officer strides past, he glances down at the Volvo's Illinois license plate, taking note of the number, X306747. The officer stops to get one last look at Nick and the Volvo before heading inside. Nick's mind starts to race. Interior, large gas station. Cole and Peter see the cop walking in. The officer turns towards them. Their eyes meet. Cole and Peter freeze for a heart-stopping moment, then try to look casual, glancing through magazines. The officer marches towards them. Exterior, large gas station. Nick watches this through the station window. The officer is heading straight for Peter and Cole inside. Nick realizes they're toast. He thinks for a second, then slowly hangs the unused gas pump back on the machine. He sees Peter and Cole peeking out towards him with frightened eyes, but there's nothing he can do to help them. Interior, large gas station. Peter and Cole silently shit bricks as the officer nears them. He's getting closer and closer, locked on. Cole looks back out towards Nick. Their eyes meet. Exterior, large gas station. Nick screws the Volvo's gas cap back on. He shakes his head.
I'm sorry, guys.
He opens the driver's door and gets in. Interior, large gas station. Cole and Peter see this, but can't believe it. Cole glances at the approaching officer. He's just feet away. The officer reaches out his hand towards her. She looks back out the window towards her last hope. Interior, car, Volvo, large gas station, Oklahoma, day. Through clenched teeth, Nick starts the Volvo and drives forward. Interior, large gas station store. Peter and Cole watch as Nick drives off. Cole can't help but let out a small, hurt gasp escape her lips as she watches. The officer, who has just grabbed the package of powdered donuts he was reaching for, hears this. He looks in the direction of Cole's stare. He sees the Volvo driving smoothly away toward the interstate. The officer glances back at Peter and Cole. They both gulp.
Excuse me, but do either of you know the young man in that car that just left?
No, sir.
The officer nods. He goes to the register and pays for the donuts. The radio strapped to his side crackles to life. Come in, Unit 12.
Unit 12 here.
We've got a 1034 assistant suspect right away.
On my way back. Val, do me a favor. Possible suspicious vehicle. Run the numbers and see what you get.
Go ahead.
Illinois plates designation X numbers 306.
The police officer heads out the door to his car. Cole and Peter watch, still shaking, as the officer drives off in the opposite direction of where Nick was headed. Exterior, Volvo, Oklahoma, highway, day. The Volvo speeds away down the highway. Interior, car, Volvo, Oklahoma, highway, day. Nick checks his rearview mirror, seeing the coast is clear. Another moment of hesitation, his conscience stabbing at him. But he sets his jaw and stops on the gas pedal. Exterior, Volvo, Oklahoma highway, day. The Volvo pulls into the fast lane, overtaking another car. Interior, Volvo, Oklahoma highway, day. The stuffed kitten falls off its perch and into the floor as Nick passes and accelerates. Exterior, Volvo, Oklahoma highway. The Volvo speeds down the highway, but the engine sputters and the car slows down. Interior, Volvo, Oklahoma highway, day. Nick pumps the pedal, but to no effect. The engine coughs and dies. He scans the instruments and spots the problem, the gas gauge, buried well past E. Exterior, Volvo, Oklahoma highway, day. Nick coasts the car to the highway shoulder, coming to a stop. Interior, Volvo, Oklahoma highway, day. Nick bangs the steering wheel, furious at the situation and with himself. He lets out a yell, slumping his head against the steering wheel. He sees the stuffed kitten lying on the dirty floor next to him. He feels like shit. Exterior, Volvo, side of the highway, Oklahoma, day. Nick, gas cap in hand, is standing by the dead Volvo. The gas tank lid is open, indicating to passers-by that he's run out of gas. He's trying to get a ride to the nearest fuel station. Cars whiz by. He's failing at all. He notices an RV slowing and turning onto the shoulder, coming to a stop about 20 yards behind him. Nick heads towards it. But Peter and Cole climb out, each carrying full plastic cans of gas. Nick stops in his tracks. Peter, whose shirt is now untucked, says something to the driver inside, and the RV pulls away. Nick watches as Cole and Peter walk slowly towards him. Cole has her head down, struggling with the weight of the gas can she carries. Nick's mind races as he thinks of some way to explain himself. Cole nears him.
Look, I'm really sorry.
But he stops when Cole looks at him. Her eyes are streaming with tears. Nick is speechless.
Your brother would be ashamed of you.
It hits Nick like a ton of bricks. She walks past him. Nick looks at Peter. Peter simply looks at him with disappointed eyes before brushing past, joining Cole at the Volvo's gas tank. Nick looks back towards the Volvo. Cole and Peter are huddled around it, filling it with their gasoline. Nick appears to be a million miles away from them. Finally, he trudges back to the car. Cole tosses her gas can into the weeds, while Peter stows his in the back of the car. They both get into the back seat. Nick takes his place behind the wheel. They drive off. Interior car, Volvo, Oklahoma, day. They drive in oppressive silence. Cole stares out her window. Peter has his head propped dejectedly against his window. Nick can't stand it anymore.
Peter, you want to know a secret? It's something my brother showed me when he was teaching me how to drive. It's how to speed and not get caught.
Peter perks up a bit. At least he's listening.
See, you have to do what I'm doing now. Find 2 other speeders and slot in between them.
Nick points to a car in front of him and another one behind.
That way, you're covered in front and in rear. If a cop's waiting ahead of you, he'll tag the guy in front, and if the cop's tracking from behind, he'll nail the poor bastard who's following you because that guy was your cover. It's like you're Luke Skywalker in the first Death Star trench, right? Well, you have to make sure that Wedge and Biggs are behind you in case a TIE fighter decides to swoop in and laser your sorry ass.
Peter can't help but smile a little. He leans forward.
I know why you did it. I forgive you.
Nick nods, thankful. They both glance at Cole. She stares out the window, silent. Exterior, highway, turnoff, Oklahoma, day. The Volvo is parked near a highway turnoff. An interesting landmark resides in the distance, as does the highway itself. Nick and Peter are looking at the map on the United States, spread out across the hood. Peter's sleeves are now rolled up. Cole sits on the fender, her back to them both. She watches her shadow sprawled out in the front of her.
So the cop radioed in our license numbers, but he didn't think I was suspicious enough to actually follow.
Oh, because he was called away to something else. But now that they've had time to run those numbers, where'd you get those plates anyway?
The same place I got the knockout valve for the coffee. A friend in a low place.
Do you think the plates will hold?
Nick ponders this, worried.
I'm sorry, guys. We got to deal with the fact that the police could be looking for us right now.
Shoot. Great.
It's not the end of the road. We'll just have to keep a lower profile.
He looks at the map for a while, has an idea. He points to the main highway leading from St. Louis to L.A.
We need to get off the beaten path, off of Highway 40. So here's what we do. We take the old Route 66.
Route 66? Like the song?
Yeah, my brother drove it once, all the way from Chicago to L.A. He told me about it, the old historic route. It crisscrosses the main highways down here all the way to California.
He traces his finger over and around Highway 44, which turns to Highway 40 on its way to California, passing through Oklahoma City, Albuquerque, and Flagstaff until finally terminating in Los Angeles.
It's going to take a little bit longer, but the route's so barren these days, cops almost never touch it. If you guys have any better ideas, I'd love to hear it, but I think this is our best bet.
Peter nods in agreement. They both look at Cole.
Cole, if you want to quit here, that's fine, but I'm not about to stop now. So do we have a plan?
Cole finally nods.
Okay.
Peter folds up the map. Nick walks to the driver's side door. He stops, watching Cole as she saunters off the hood on her way to the back seat. He fingers the car keys in his hand.
Hey, Cole, you can drive.
He tosses her the keys. She catches them, a little surprised. She peers at Nick. He's not kidding. She goes to the driver's seat and sits down. Peter grabs Nick's shoulder, worried. Nick holds out a hand to calm him. Interior, car, Volvo, highway turnoff, Oklahoma, day. Peter gets in the back, straps tightly in. He does a silent Hail Mary across his chest, and then Cole isn't looking. When Cole isn't looking. Nick sits in the passenger seat, also strapping in tight. Cole starts the engine. She puts a buttonless shifter into drive. Everyone holds their breath. Exterior Volvo highway turnoff, Texas, day. The car slowly but smoothly moves forward. It travels about 30 feet, then comes to a smooth stop. Interior car, Volvo highway turnoff, Texas, day. Cole puts the transmission back in park. She ponders a moment, then nods.
Okay.
She unbuckles and gets out, heading for the passenger seat. Nick and Peter look at each other, a small smile from each of them. Nick gets out and lets Cole resume her place in the passenger seat. Nick gets into the driver's chair. Cole notices the stuffed kitten lying on the ground. She puts it in her lap, not ready to place it back in the compass. They drive away. Interior car, Volvo, day. Sven's compass is pointed west. Exterior, Volvo, Route 66, Oklahoma, day. Sven passes a historic Route 66 sign. Exterior, Volvo, Catoosa, Oklahoma, day. The Volvo drives past the Catoosa blue whale in a life-sized cement cartoon whale that sits grinning in the forgotten pond. Exterior, Volvo, Claremore, Oklahoma, day. They drive past a memorial statue for Will Rogers in Will Rogers' hometown. Exterior, Ann's Chicken Fry House, day. A 1950s diner restaurant parking lot. Painted on a wall overlooking the parking space is a mural of the rear ends of 3 classic cars. Parked next to them, almost looking like it was part of the mural, sits Sven. Nick, Cole, and Peter exit the restaurant, food and drink in hand, and pile into the car. Nick starts the engine. Interior, car, Volvo, Oklahoma highway, day. Peter takes pictures of everything he sees out of the window. He replaces his film with a new roll. Exterior, Amarillo, Texas. Exterior, Amarillo, Texas, Cadillac Ranch, day. The Volvo is stopped at the edge of the road next to a Cadillac Ranch, which features 10 classic graffitied Cadillacs, stuck nose first in the dirt at the angle. All 3 teens lean sideways at the same angle as the Cadillacs. Exterior, Britain, Texas. The same shot, except with a leaning water tower inscribed with the words Britain, USA. The kids are leaning over. They straighten up. Exterior, Volvo, Adrian, Texas, day. The Volvo drives past a sign marked Route 66 midpoint. Arrows below it point both ways. LA and Chicago each marked 1,139 miles. Interior, Volvo, New Mexico, day. Cole is looking at the police report printout and the photo she has of her friend with the mustached policeman father. Nick watches her. She looks up. Their eyes meet. She nods reassuredly back. Cole puts Captain the stuffed cat back in the compass perch. She points onward, mimicking the cat. Nick and Cole smile. Exterior, old gas station, New Mexico, day. The teens get gas at an ancient-looking gas station. Nick grabs a cigarette. Exterior, New Mexico, day. The Volvo drives through a cloud of desert dust. Interior car, Volvo, New Mexico, day. Peter unscrews the back of his camera. The inside is a jungle of screws and springs, but Peter expertly swishes the insides clean with a Q-tip. He loads another roll of film. Interior car, Volvo, Arizona, late afternoon. Cole has her hand out the open window, swooshing it up and down in the moving air. Exterior, Grand Canyon, Arizona, day. The teens chuck big rocks down the canyon, timing it to see how long they take to hit the bottom. Nick motions it's time to get going. Exterior, Volvo, Arizona mountains, late afternoon. The Volvo speeds along as they enter the Rockies. Interior, car, Volvo, Oatman, Arizona, late afternoon. The Volvo is moving at a snail's pace through a forgotten old west mining town. Nick honks the horn, agitated at something in front of him. Exterior, Volvo, Holbrook, Arizona, dinosaurs, sunset. Sven passes between 2 life-size statues of fighting dinosaurs. Exterior, Volvo, Holbrook, Arizona, teepees, sunset. The sun is setting on Sven. Motors past the famous teepees-shaped hotels. Interior, car, Volvo, Arizona sunset. Peter looks at his watch, says something to Cole. Cole looks at the map and nods. They're making great time. Exterior, Volvo RV park sign. Flagstaff, Arizona, dusk. They drive through a greener mountain area. They come to a large metal gate that has rusty words stamped out on top. Route 66 biker rally and RV park. Nick stops the car near it, checking to make sure the coast is clear. He motions for Cole and Peter to get out and open the gate for the car. He drives through. Peter and Cole shut the gate and hop back in. Exterior, Volvo campground, Flagstaff, Arizona, dusk. The grounds look empty and abandoned. Nick pulls the car into a secluded spot at the top of the hill and surrounded by pine forest. Exterior, campground, Flagstaff, Arizona, night. Nick, Cole, and Peter are huddled around an unlit fire pit. Cole has changed from shorts into jeans and is now wearing his jacket. Peter has made a carefully constructed woodpile. He's trying to light the pine needles underneath a piece of barely burning paper. It isn't working. Nick gets up and opens the hatch to the Volvo, sitting nearby. He grabs the mostly empty plastic gas can and dumps the liter or so worth of gas on top of the pit. He pulls out his lighter and flicks it on the near doused piece of woods. The fire goes off in a huge whoomph, forcing the teens to all fall back onto their asses. They get back up and huddle around the fire, laughing.
That's cheating.
Maybe, but it works like a goddamn charm.
Nick takes out a cigarette, lights it. Cole smirks.
You try too hard, you know?
Try too hard at what?
Please. I can see right through you.
All right, Supergirl. What do you see with that X-rayed vision of yours?
I can see you're full of shit.
Peter snickers. Cole and Nick laugh. They settle into a lull.
You want to see someone full of shit? You should check out my parents. They're so full of shit it's coming out of their ears. You'd think they'd be able to smell it by now. You know what's really screwed up? You're coming all this way to meet your family, and I'd give anything not to have met mine.
But you have met them. You've at least had the chance to accept them or reject them. If only... You don't understand. You can't really.
I'm not dumb. Try me.
I thought you didn't want to hear about it.
Try me.
Peter props forward to listen. So does Nick. Cole checks her watch. She fumbles through her bag, takes an antidepressant.
All right. I don't know how I feel. I just need to... See how a tree is able to stand upright like that? Tall, proud. It has roots, like an anchor. I wish I could feel like that stupid tree. Like everyone else. I mean, without roots, it's like...
You're easy to topple over.
Cole nods. They all watch the fire.
You're scared, aren't you? Of meeting her.
What do you mean?
Let's say she's at that courthouse and you do see her. You really want to hear what she has to say? What if she's full of shit like everything else in the world? What if she says things about the past that you don't want to hear?
Cole doesn't answer. Nick tosses his cigarette into the fire. In the distance, they hear a coyote howl. Cole looks a little frightened. Nick smiles. Peter cocks back his head, cupping his hands in the direction of the howl, and answers back. Nick and Cole look at each other, dumbfounded, then at Peter.
What the hell?
It's a female coyote. She's just crying out to see if anyone else is around.
How do you know that?
Oh, my mom and dad and I used to watch PBS nature shows every Wednesday.
The coyote howls back. Peter nods, satisfied.
I've established our territory. She knows we're here. She's not going to intrude.
You sure?
Oh, shit, Pete. You got a girl to actually talk to you. Now, don't chase her off. Call her back. Buy her stiff drink. You could use some tail by the looks of you.
Ha ha, very funny. Besides, I don't drink.
Never?
Nope. My parents would murder me.
Why do you ask, Nick? You have a flask full of gin in there with your cigarette?
Nick grins. He pulls out a flask from his jacket pocket, tossing it to Peter.
Whiskey, actually. You got it from my mom's cabinet.
Peter opens it, sniffs it, recoils at the force hitting his nostrils. He looks back at Nick, unsure.
Your parents can't murder you if you're halfway across the continent.
Peter takes a cautious swig, coughs, but he smiles. It's a milestone for him. He hands the flask to Cole.
No.
It's not that bad.
He coughs. Cole takes the flask, sniffs it.
Come on, we have plenty of time to sleep in tomorrow. What do you have to lose?
All three of them crack up. Cole takes a drink from the flask. Exterior campground, Flagstaff, Arizona, night. And of course, all three of them are sauced. They're lying on the Volvo's hood, looking up at the impossibly clear sky. Nick and Cole have their backs against the windshield while Peter is sprawled near the front bumper. The flask sits in the center lip of the windshield between all three of them. Peter points at the stars, showing them constellations.
And there's the hunting companions, Canis Major right there, and following him, wow, it's so clear up here. You can actually see Canis Minor. I don't even need a telescope.
Canis who?
Cole giggles.
Canis Minor, the lesser dog. See, you have Orion and his greater dog, and following them both in the shadows, to speak, his lesser dog.
Oh, poor puppy.
Looks like a bunch of dots to me, but I'm not sure how trustworthy my vision is right now.
Peter gets up, standing back and holding up 3 fingers.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Nick and Cole prop up, peer at Peter's hand.
4.
2.
Peter counts his fingers. Still 3.
Wrong. It's 3. You lose.
No, hold on. We won. We averaged out to 3. We did. Averages? I actually remember that from math class. Must have been there that day.
He's right. You have to drink.
Nick hands Peter the flask. Peter grimaces, but takes another swig as Nick and Cole cheer up.
I need to get a picture of all of us.
Right now, isn't it too dark?
Peter rummages in the back seat of the Volvo. He pulls out his camera, attaching a light bar.
Nothing is too dark for my camera. Okay, the 3 of us and Sven.
Peter sets the camera down on a picnic table facing the Volvo. He twiddles a few dials on it and scrambles into Sven, popping up through the open sunroof so that he can be in the shot with Nick and Cole. Just as he settles, he flops back out and stumbles towards the camera, changing a few more settings.
Wait, I forgot the timer.
He climbs back up through the Volvo's sunroof, then remembers something else. He squirms out, rocking the car as he does so. Nick and Cole look at each other, amused. Peter bumbles to the camera once again, twisting a few more dials.
Sorry, I need to open another...
Come on, man.
Just set it on auto.
It doesn't have an auto. This thing was made 30-some years ago.
Then why not join the 20th century and get a digital camera already?
No, never. This camera was my grandpa's. He taught me everything about it, how to shoot, how to develop, everything I'd possibly need to know before he died. He gave it to me, and I'm not about to let some confounded good-for-nothing digital contraption replace it.
Whoa, easy there. Digital sucks. I take it back.
Nick takes another swig.
Thank you. Hold on. Almost got it.
Nick offers Cole the flask. She shakes her head.
No thanks anymore, and I'm gonna be sick.
Nick shrugs, places the flask on the lip of the windshield to his side.
All right, and now it's ready.
He hops on to the top of the roof. The 3 kids wait for the camera to flash. Nick sandwiched between Cole and Peter. Nothing. All 3 lean forward, peering at the camera. Then flash. A brilliant white light that blinds everything. Peter knocks himself back and over the side of the car. All 3 rub their eyes, laughing. Peter gets up and grabs the camera. He puts it back in the car.
See? Worked like a gall darn charm.
Thanks, man. I'm really seeing stars now.
Peter scans the area.
Hate to ask, but if one had to use the restroom around here, where would one go?
Well, there's a tree. Use it.
There's facilities just up the road. You want to use a tree?
We're camping in the middle of nowhere. That's what you do.
Well, no thanks. I've done enough crazy things the past few days. I'll be back.
Peter walks off down the hill. Nick calls after him.
Hey, Pete. You see any lady coyotes? Make sure to get their number.
Peter holds out his hand in an "oh, be quiet" gesture, then trundles away. Nick and Cole chuckle, then lie back down on the roof of the car.
Funny guy, that kid.
What do you think?
About what?
Why do you think he has to get to L.A.? He doesn't seem like the kind of person to risk it all for some road trip.
Neither do you.
Ah, true.
She sits back up, a moment as she thinks just how much she's risked to get here. She looks stressed. Nick catches this, sits up with her.
Hey, we made good time today. We got 2 full days to get there. Court appointments at 4 p.m. I drop you and Peter off in the morning. I get to the other side of the city to grab the tickets by 5, plenty of time. And then the next morning we get to whatever the hell Peter's got to get to, and we head home, just like we planned. Come on, relax, look at the pretty stars, and forget about it.
She lets out a sigh, settles back.
Canis Minor. Now there's a familiar character.
Yeah.
You know my big sister? Well, she's not really my sister, but you know.
Yeah, you told us.
Straight A's. Ace college. Engaged now to a handsome contractor from Pittsburgh. She's the model woman. Wish I had her genes. I'd be better off. The stress of trying to measure up to her, it's only made my parents think less and less of me. Less like her.
She lets out a long breath. Nick struggles to think of something to comfort her. He sits up.
It's just a model, though. Models aren't real. I used to make tons of those plastic car models with my brother when I was a kid. You know, the ones you buy at a hobby shop. We'd glue it all together, and he'd paint it up all nice, and then I'd try to play with it like it was a matchbox car or something, and wham! It just bust into pieces because it wasn't meant to be played with. You just looked at, you know?
Cole thinks a bit, smirks at him.
I'm sorry. I guess I just don't get the comparison.
Damn. I thought I had a point in there. What do you want from me? I'm just drunk.
They chuckle together. Nick is lost in thought.
I had the same thing with my older brother. Only difference was that I didn't give a shit about what my parents thought about me. Only person's opinion I cared about was Sammy's.
Cole sits up, listening intently.
When I was getting into trouble, I was more afraid of what he'd think of me than anything my parents would do. Smart guy, though. A lot smarter than me. I've only been smart at getting myself into shit. He was smart at getting me out of it. He was perfect in everyone's eyes. Everyone's. But you know what? He was the perfect guy in mine, too.
Long pause. Cole reaches out for his hand, taking it tenderly. Nick looks at her. Suddenly it dawns on him how wonderful, real, and honest they're being with each other, as if a spark has arced directly between them. They pause, but lean in towards each other. Cole moistens her lips and closes her eyes. They're just inches apart, but she ducks away at the last second and, head down, turned away, releasing his hand. Nick is instantly deflated.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
But she moves away from him towards the side of the roof and promptly vomits over the Volvo's side.
Oh.
Exterior campground, Flagstaff, Arizona night. Nick grabs a bottle of water. He hands it to Cole, who is lying in a reclined front seat, barely awake.
It's time we call it a night.
She looks up woozily at the stars through the open door. Nick hands Captain the stuffed cat to her. She turns over, away from Nick. Nick softly shuts the door, alone in his thoughts. He hears a wolf howl in the distance. A chill goes up his spine. He turns and sees Peter standing right next to him and nearly jumps out of his skin.
You know, the spider on the toilet was like this big. It was this big.
Nick gets into the car, leaving Peter alone. Nick closes the sunroof of the car. Peter looks up at the stars one last time before ducking into the back seat. A coyote howls in the distance. Exterior campground, Flagstaff, Arizona morning. A chilly fog mountain morning. The fire has died out. Interior car, Volvo campground, Flagstaff, Arizona morning. Inside, the three teens are zonked out, dead to the world. Nick, reclined in the front seat, turns over in his sleep. He accidentally nudges the buttonless gear shift into neutral with his arm. He doesn't notice and continues snoozing. Exterior campground. Sven starts to creep forward down a sloping grass hill. The wheels gain speed as the Volvo slowly picks up velocity. It starts to bounce on the hill. Interior car, Volvo. The bumps jostle Peter awake. He sits up, looking through the blurry windshield. He bolts upright when he realizes they're flying without a pilot.
Oh, Jesus, Nick, wake up!
Nick and Cole are awakened. They both spring up, yelling in fright. Nick clutches the wheel, trying to turn it. The power steering won't budge. The engine isn't on. He tries to twist the ignition key, but the bucking car knocks the keys out onto the floor.
Shit!
Cole's face goes pale when she sees something through the windshield.
Oh my god.
Exterior, Campground Hill, Flagstaff, Arizona morning. The Volvo is moving fast now, bounding down the hill, and it's heading straight towards a pond at the bottom of the hill. Interior car, Volvo, Campground Hill, Flagstaff morning. Nick's eyes widen. He pumps the brake pedal, but again, without the engine running, they're useless. He tries jamming the gear shift lever back into park, but it won't budge. Peter grabs his seat belt, puts it on. Exterior, Campground Hill. The Volvo's going well over running speed, out of control, and only 30 paces away from the body of water looming in front of them. Interior car, Volvo. Everybody's looking pretty damn terrified right about now.
Nick, do something!
Nick grapples around. He finds the emergency brake. He cranks it back as hard as he can. Exterior, Campground Hill. The Volvo's rear tires lock, skidding against the wet grass, but the car is still careening forward at a considerable rate. Interior car, Volvo. All the teens can do is bite their lips and pray that the car stops before splashing into the water. Nick wrenches back as hard as he can on the shaking emergency brake handle. The car is slowing. But is it enough? Nick closes his eyes. It's up to fate. Exterior, Campground Hill. The car slides forward, finally stops just above the muddy pond bank, its nose just inches from the water. Interior, car, Volvo. Nick, Cole, and Peter all exhale. They've just dodged a bullet. But then, snap. The emergency brake cable twangs loose, and the handle goes suddenly limp in Nick's hand. Exterior, Campground Hill. The rear wheels loose forward, and the Volvo plummets nose first into the water with a sickening splash. The car sits at an angle, the front bumper completely submerged with the rest of the car sitting on the muddy embankment. Car, interior, Volvo. Water rushes in on Cole's feet. She panics and reaches over to grab the keys on the ground, shoving them in the ignition.
Get us out! Get us out!
Hurry!
Without thinking, Nick turns the keys. The engine fires to life. Exterior, Campground Pond, Flagstaff, Arizona morning. Close on the Volvo's front grille, a sickening sucking sound comes from the submerged lower intake. Interior, car, Volvo, Campground Pond, Flagstaff, Arizona morning. Nick shoves the gear shift into reverse and nails the throttle. Exterior, Campground Pond. The rear wheels claw for traction against the mud, but before the car can get anywhere, the engine makes a loud pop, followed by the worst sound of frying metal imaginable. Smoke wafts from under the hood. The car is utterly and totally dead. Interior, car, Volvo. The three teens sit in silence for a second, the weight of what's just happened slowly, dreadfully sinking in. They look at each other. They get out of the car. Exterior, Campground Pond. They step out into the muck and survey the situation. Sven is stuck in the mud, a lifeless heap, its nose prodding in the water as if it was taking a final drink. It's the end of the road.